My name is, actual name is Ilya Basin. I've been known by a few names, Fame.
My name's Mike Mascone, and I play a level 80 Tauren druid named Darksend.
I'm Scott Porcaro, but I play Ttocs, a level 80 Death Knight on Mal'Ganis.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
I've lived in Queens my whole life.
I live in Yardley, Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia. A raid, if you want to take it like a strict definition, is a predefined number of people. It could be, in WoW, it's 10 or 25 people. Their job is to work together, and they all have different roles and different jobs in each role to perform a great feat.
You're playing with 25 or, plus people at a time, so, the community you build with the people in your guild. I mean, the guild I've been in for almost 2 years now. So, it's really about the guild experience and playing with people that you trust, and it's a lot more of a community experience than people who don't play video games realize.
I'd give shout outs to like every single guild I've been in, because I mean they helped me grow as an individual, as a raider, etc. So I mean I started out with Premonition, then Drow, then Vodka, and now Might.
We were a top probably 250 guild, and the guild had mostly been comprised of working professionals.
Beyond the game, you don't really know them, even though I consider everyone in my guild, most of the people in my guild, friends.
Another guy's a veterinarian. Sometimes he'd be on the phone during a raid with I remember they had a pet, they were weighing a decision where they're going to put down the pet, and he's on the phone with this person, and he's DPSing in Black Temple at the same time.
I had no idea when I jumped into WoW, I had no idea the raiding was going to be back in the day what it was then, even like 40 people working with each other. While the encounters were fairly simplistic, they were really challenging.
Having never done MC at all before, the very first night there, we got all the way up to Geddon.
Just started doing Molten Core in the beginning, but Black Lair really got people to focus and think a little bit more. The encounters were a little bit more challenging. You need a little bit more coordination, like Veil Strats and whatnot. Oh, you got to run out. What separates the raids, I would say the coordination. A hardcore player has a goal in mind, and this is what they want to go after, and that's why they devote all that time, all that effort, they will go to extra extents to get certain items just so they could overcome a certain encounter where a casual player might be like, well, I'll just try to get to it, and if it's not going to work out, maybe next week.
Everyone thinks, oh, you're a top 50 world guild, you all serious, never talk to me on Vent, always. It's not really like that at all. Sure, there's wipes to vent clutter.
We go into a raid encounter already knowing what the strategy is going to be.
Even the best laid plans, there's going to be times where you're going to be, oh crap, and something happens, and it's a game of numbers, it's a game of dice.
So many things could go wrong in that fight, because you had 9 ads spawning at a time, with 4 different tanks picking them up, and no tricks of the trade back then, so you only had hunters misdirecting. So if you missed something, your healer's dead right away.
We utilize just about every possible position and strat imaginable, like off the wall type of strats, and that's fun, we almost came close, and that's not really the way. Let's go back to the drawing board and try to figure it out. That's where it is.
That fight, literally, once you got to 5%, you could get to 5% 50 times in a row and still be no closer to killing it than you were when you were still wiping in phase 1, because that last 5% was almost impossible if you even had a single player dead.
It's the challenge, and it's the challenge of whatever the encounter designer put forth. It could be something as simple as don't stand in a thing on the ground. It could also be internal too. So what you do is you try and say, okay, well let's clear it in an hour. Let's clear it in a half hour, or whatever's reasonable. Let's chain pull it, let's speed clear it, let's see how fast we can do it, and keep people engaged, keep people involved, and brag about it on when you have the stuff on World of Logs later.
Should I use being a raid leader as a resume? I think it'd come, managing 25 people, night after night, and then someone posted that they did that, and they got, they had an interview, and they mentioned that at their interview, and almost immediately after the interview ended.
There's definitely direct parallels in a raid that you can put in the business world. Dealing with people that aren't holding up their end of the bargain, dealing with drama queens and all that other stuff. And even from a management perspective, if you're an officer or a guild leader or a raid leader, there's a lot of management that you can do in that, and a lot of things that you can learn, like in the management classes that I took or whatever, or things that I already came into those management classes knowing.
Leading 25 random strangers should be a good quality for someone hiring a job. But no, you play an online game, you're terrible, goodbye.
It's usually a little more, I guess, esoteric to some people.
It gets made fun of because it falls under the like nerd or category.
Nerds.
It's more apt to get the basement dwelling, living at the parents, stereotype of a gamer.
I get ridiculed, make fun of, but I mean, it's cool, like I get punches thrown at me because of it, and it's, I'm able to take them because I enjoy what I do, that's my hobby. Other people do other hobbies, and I mean, honestly, I see no difference between devoting your time online playing WoW versus, browsing the web on like, say, Facebook or like YouTube. You're still in front of the computer. I do something interactive.
Why should that have any impact on what they're doing? It's how they spend their free time. If I were to ask that employer, what do you do when you go home, like when you're not doing work stuff at home? How is that any different from how you spend your free time?
Just like, say when cars came about, people were like, what is this? And then they eventually got into it. And I think the same thing is going to happen with gaming. While it might get ridiculed right now, give it a couple of years and, everyone's going to be playing it for the most part.
We had wiped sub 5% all night, and then trash respawned. And it was getting late, and we're like, you know what? We've been getting there all night, so we're going to re-clear trash and go as late as we need to. And it's probably about 1 in the morning or so when we finally killed it. And event was just crazy. When you've been working on a boss that long, having that much struggle with it. I also remember it because as soon as we killed the boss, Darksend promoted to initiate, Darksend promoted to member.
While people are going like, yeah, we killed it, and Ben is like blaring. To me, I still realize it's a game, and it's cool. We invested a lot of time to get to that point, to kill whatever encounter that's needed. Once you overcome that, I think you want to, relax, have your free time going for you.
It's all about coordination.
You had to be really coordinated.
And planning.
Learning the mechanics.
And in some cases, it's just winging it.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep, steep, 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 steep.
Like spot on. I mean, bravo.